Well, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you for taking a
Nice
minute
to
out of the
meet you
program
too.
today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So let's begin our journey before we get into your life as a speaker and author by asking you this. I always start with this question. 6 years ago, this pandemic was a real fork in the road for all of us. How
Yeah.
did you get through that COVID era, and how has it changed the way that you do things today?
Yeah, I listened to all of you. I was up for 6 hours. I listened to 3,000
Okay.
interviews.
Oh
So,
no. So you know the row. You're in.
yes, yes. Do you want me to answer now or during
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, that'll be the way we'll kick it off.
Well, yeah, at the beginning I panicked a bit, but then I had a cat who was actually a person. And she kept me so much company. And I was in this beautiful apartment, the top floor in Rome, where I could see all of Rome. And for me, it was such a pleasure to be able to go outside and there were no people and walked around. And I felt so connected to everything. It didn't bother me at all. And I kind of looked at I like to write. So for me, it was an amazing time to write my blogs and my published pieces. And I did, and I finished my book, which is going to be published in the fall, my memoir. And I don't know, I really had, I felt that it meant something. I'm sorry about for the people who passed, but it meant that people got to be closer in so many ways. And there was an element of humility that was missing um, prior to COVID, especially in some industrial countries more than anywhere else.
Well, and that was what I was hoping we were going to hold on to when this came out. It was kind of like when 9/11 happened. There was this idea of all of us
Mm.
being kind of united, but one way or another, humanity gets in there and it just kind of goes back to what we're used to, you know?
Yeah. And
So,
Joe, I see that in animals. Animals, I don't know if you ever watch clips with animals. They always take care of their own and they really protect not just their own, but us too. And we don't do that. We don't do that. Whenever money is present, we go, fuck you, and they go.
uh-huh.
And it's like, come on, you know?
Yeah.
So
I totally get it. So before we get into your memoir, I want to know if we were to be at a career day and one of the kids wanted to know what you do for a living right now, how do you explain your day job to them?
my day job right now is to hold on to the ship that has 1,000, uh, you know, people trying to come on. And right now I'm trying to hold it before plundering, because I'm really changing careers. I'm becoming a full-time public speaker and helping women go from survival mode out of fear of wanting to belong to being conscientious of their choices so they can choose a different life. That is my path. But whereas before I was a sales coach and I train people how to sell or live a different life, now it has a particular point of view, and it's overcome survival. Because there is a lot of that. Women that, work, and then they become survivalists as opposed to becoming who they are, become who you are before you are told who to be.
Yeah.
But I'm tackling it from different aspects. Substack, memoir, podcasts. I'm starting a podcast with another person next week.
So let's peel back the layers of your career here. Before we do, what did you want to be when you were a kid? What was your dream job when you grew up?
I always wanted to be a flight attendant until I found out I wasn't tall enough.
Okay.
I'm 5'5" and I wasn't tall enough. And then I hurt myself and I have a scar on my leg and I was devastated because I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be a flight attendant.
I didn't realize
But
there was a height thing.
oh yeah, there was at the time in
Okay.
Italy. In Italy, I'm talking Italy.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that wasn't really. And then, I had a very troubled childhood, so I had to jump on the ship of survival. I stopped dreaming and I started fighting for my life, basically, because my parents took off when I was a couple of years old, and then I had to live in different places. And I pretty soon realized, okay, I need to grasp onto information as fast as I can, hold on to it, and use it for the next occasion. And my brain became like a safety box. And whenever I need to, I go in there and go, yeah, yeah, I can learn that very, very fast and then use it. But I wasn't dreaming. I was just living for, you know, for convenience and for, okay, what's next? It took me a while to get to that point of relaxing. But then when I went into sales, it was very convenient because the information I had accumulated as to how to be skilled really play back beautifully. I don't know if you know this, but as an immigrant, you're 10 times more capable of doing different things at the same time.
Yeah, I believe it. I totally believe it. And I think
Yeah,
there's a level of you have to like based on what you explained, you had to grow up pretty quick.
yeah, yeah. At 15, I was already outside my home, whichever room I was in by myself. Yeah,
So who were your who was an inspiration? Who was the one that really helped you stay strong and get to this point in your life today?
my grandmother.
Yeah.
She was luckily she gave me 6 years of normality and routine and safety, everything I needed, and I had held on to that memory forever to know that there was a place where I can be happy, I can be safe, I can be loved, and all of that, even when everything seemed to be cascading down and disappearing. So, and I went back to that all the time.
So are you originally from Rome?
Florence.
Florence. Okay, that's right. Florence, you're originally from. What was it like to grow up in Florence? I mean, like just as far as like the lifestyle and I mean, is it similar to what you've experienced in Rome or what is it like?
Well, it's completely different from now because people discovered Italy.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm talking 50 years ago. And it was beautiful, just beautiful. You could walk around and not be harassed or robbed. And I moved to the north of Italy at one point, where my paternal side of things, where my grandmother was. And I don't know if you heard the city Pavia, Pavia.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's a very, very cute Mediterranean, I would say medieval town. I spent some time there, and all of them were incredible because people knew each other, and you walked around feeling like you were in a larger family.
Yeah.
There was fashion, there was good food everywhere, there was belonging, and life was just a joy.
Maybe that was one of the reasons why Italy and Rome specifically endeared me so much. Everything you explained, I felt. Even when I would get my rooms, my hotel rooms, the old skeleton keys were a part of my mix of what I used. And you don't see that here in the States anymore.
Hmm.
There was just all of these kickbacks. And I think for me, growing up in America, I realized how long Italy had been around. It had been around so much longer than our very young democracy. So it gave me a perspective on, why America tends to make weird mistakes politically and things that happen the way they do because we're teenagers. But when you compare that to Italy, that's been around for, I mean, Rome and all of these
Oh
other
my
people,
God, thousands and thousands of years.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So,
It's a different feeling and a different sense of doing things, like you said.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I gotta know, and I don't want to get in anything overtly political, but what is the perspective of what's going on in America right now? What are the Italians thinking?
They they think there is one person that should be eliminated.
Yeah, and that's the thing that all of us here in the States are just like, I didn't vote for this at all, ever. And just the spat that he's gotten into with the premiere, it's so weird. All of it's very strange. I mean, we've seen some weird things happen in this country, but I don't know that we've ever around the world experienced anything as clowny as what we're going through right now.
Yeah, clown is the word, is the word.
Just
Yeah.
that's all it is.
50, 50% tariffs on Canada. They are our allies. Come on.
Why? Why are we doing that? I have a jazz radio show and I've talked to musicians and other
I
people that I know
saw
very well.
that. Wow.
Yeah, and it's like the Canadians give grants to musicians all the time. They have socialized healthcare. They take care of their people. There's so many things that are good about it. So I was asking them, what's your take on America now? And they always say to me, "We're good with you. We're good with the people, but it's like a bad breakup. We're never going to get over this." It's
Of
always,
course.
right?
Of course. Their premier is so smart. And
Yeah.
he just, when they had the convention, he put Trump to shame so much. It was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, but the thing that really bothers me, and this is because I'm attached to kids, is how the ICE thing this
Oh,
doesn't get eliminated. They they left just now a 3-year-old orphan because they shoot people without even. And even if we were illegal, so what? Do you shoot him? Do you
right.
kill him? It's beyond comprehension,
It
beyond
is.
comprehension. I'm horrified.
I am too. And the one thing that I think has been kind of a healing salve for America was the World Cup this summer. Kansas City got a handful of games. We opened up the world, and to feel that world community, and no one was talking about him and all of this stuff. I mean, it's there, but it's like the world community, we're going to find a way to get over it. We always find a way to pull ourselves
Yeah.
together. So,
And Morgan Freeman said, "What the F?" And because he stole the spotlight.
I know. Come on. Please. It's too
It,
much.
I know. Italy is very much against it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we don't want them. We
Yeah.
don't, and unfortunately, they identify all of us Americans as that, which is not. It's not
Right.
fair because most of us cannot stand it.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get it.
So, yeah,
So let me ask you this.
yeah, yes.
Talk to me about the books that you read early on. What were influences, writers, who were influential in your career path and you getting to this memoir point? Who were those individuals or those narratives?
I have a bachelor in women's studies because I lost a baby at birth, and in that I read a lot of the feminist authors, Betty Friedman and no, they escape me. Oh, Audre Lorde. I did read a lot of them, but I then went on to get a master in transpersonal psychology. So I got into Carl Jung, Eric Erickson, and they were Joseph Campbell very influential because they shaped my idea of how we're spiritual. We're not just a mind like Einstein, a mind that functions in a certain way. There are other aspects of who we are. There is a soul, and there is the body, there is the mind, and there is the spirit. There is this body, mind, spirit. So I studied all the aspects of our psychology, and that's what transpersonal means. So those were all the aspects of my formation. I also read, now I'm into Joe Dispenza and the quantum physics approach. That's how I help women using the visualization and manifestation from the point of view of raising our energy, because the material world is only 1% of the cosmos. Everything else is 99%. The moment we raise our energy and really, really make an effort to be like the yogi, like a Paramahansa Yogananda as much as possible and get away from the material, we can actually visualize and match the excitement of who we want to be and what we want to do. Then things come to us without us being like a jackrabbit, going after things. But speaking of books, I grew up with the Italian literature. So I don't know if your audience would even know that. But then I switched to the British literature more than American. I took a lot of classes on on the King Arthur. I love that period. So I don't know if it's too winded of an
No, no,
answer.
no. I love that. I love the backbone because I want to get into the memoir. I remember when I was in Rome, there was a tea room that Hemingway and all the writers used to go to.
Oh, yes, Hemingway. Oh my God, my
Yeah.
favorite.
Do you remember the tea room? Is it what was the name
Yeah,
of it? Yeah. And when I
yeah,
saw that, I got on a tour there and they were showing places, and I was just absolutely taken aback by because a lot of the writers back in the day would go to Europe and it was kind of a
yes.
refuge.
Ezra Pound and
Yeah.
Fitzgerald,
Uh-huh.
Scott Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
those were amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I want to get into your memoir, and I'm curious with going through the rough spots of growing up and survival and having to grow up at 15. Was it hard to revisit those parts of your life and put it
Yes,
on paper?
very.
Yeah,
Yeah. Even now, when I have to do the reviews, I'm working with an editor who is doing the final. It's very hard. I just don't want to do it.
yeah.
Even though I feel like I've overcome, I just don't want to do it. I'm like, no.
But do you feel like there's a cathartic feeling about going through the whole process of putting your life down on paper? Do you feel good that you've done this? Is there a weight that's been lifted?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think that I feel bad for the girl who didn't have any tools to overcome things and found herself there, like as if I were someone else. And I feel bad for how I judged my mom, who didn't have a way to get out of where she was in. So there are all these contrasting feelings, you
Yeah.
know.
But do you feel like you're protecting that young version of you now? I mean, because you've overcome it, is there a part of you that holds on to that a little bit?
A little bit, yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. That's the most difficult part
Yeah,
to really, because sometimes people will disrespect you without knowing it, because I'm very open, so people walk in, no boundaries. And I like to say, hey, you don't know who you're talking to. I've had a very difficult life, so stay out of my way. But sometimes I forget to hold on to that. Yeah.
but isn't that the problem with humanity is our level of empathy? We just don't have it. Like everybody's so quick to judge, so quick to assume, right? And
Thank you, Joe. Yeah,
and
that's
and
exactly it. Yeah.
and just like you said with your mother, like, there's levels of us growing up that wanted other things because we compare our lives to other people, but everybody had their own boat to row, and it was no one's got an easy row in life. No one.
Yeah. 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 But I don't know how spiritual you are, but I will bet you
Yeah.
are. I do think it's part of being incarnated. Otherwise, we wouldn't be. Um, my daughter keeps crying, what is that? What is that? I say, he's somewhere where he's much better off because otherwise he came to learn something and he suffered like
Yeah.
all of us. And we come to learn and it's quick, quick, but we learn and then we go. And then we decide, do we want to come back? No, thank you.
Right. I think about that with my dad. My dad, passed at 64. There was a lot of difficulties health wise that he went through. And I think about now, he may be in a diner having a coffee with Sinatra. He could be a bird. He could be a,
Yeah,
a, a cardinal flying over the sky. I mean, there's all these levels of me that think
yeah,
that he's finally free of all of these earthly burdens that weighed him down for so long.
yeah,
And
that's true.
but it is a part of that whole idea of reincarnation and coming back. But I love that you mentioned Joseph Campbell. I really got into him about a year ago and listened
Mm,
to interviews, and it's amazing how optimistic and so just like he's like a can opener that just opens up all of these misconceptions and these things that we think we have figured out, and he just makes it just vibrant. Everything feels good about how he describes myth and reality and the cosmos and the way we fall into line with it.
Yeah, he's amazing, and he wrote. I learned in my BA, The Journey of Man.
Yeah,
And Joe, it's if we have a chance to talk some other time, maybe the journey of man in America, how
yeah,
they had to be muscular and
uh-huh,
teach, their journey, and then when women started working, they said, "No way, Jose, you go home and make pancakes, and we get the jobs." And
yeah,
that's how the feminist movement was born, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
then the Vietnam War really put a big monkey wrench on everything. And it's amazing. And he wrote that. He wrote the journey of man. It's amazing.
Why don't we make this a part two? I'll really delve into that because I don't know
Yeah.
that yeah, and we'll make that a
Yeah.
part two.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if you had a dream tonight, ran into that young version of you, that 15-year-old version of you, you walked into a room and there was a film projector and you clicked play, and the life you've led, a 60-second highlight reel of all the decisions and things that you've done come up. Would that young version of you believe that your life turned out this way?
The question was if I believed it would turn out this way.
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah,
no, because it was happenstance. It was not ever a decision of mine. I was unconscious because I had just spent 2 to 3 years in the streets, raped on a daily basis by whomever decided. And I was 12 and a half, 13, and I was looking for mom and dad. I wasn't looking for sex, but
yeah.
no one was there. My mom was checked out. My father was nowhere to be found. Social services didn't exist, and that's what did me in.
Wow,
But yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So on that highlight reel, what are you the happiest about? After everything that's transpired and led you to today, what are you the proudest of?
Having a daughter who is amazing, truly amazing, an adult who is smart, beautiful inside and out, and she has a perfect life, very rich. I wish she would share some of that, but that's another story. Part three. Joe, let's do a part three.
There's going to be a lot of parts. It's going to be like a big Tetris board. So I got to know, after all of this time, everyone has a perception of you. All these different people, family, friends, everyone that sees you speak, everyone that gets into your blog, everything you do, but you're the driving force. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
A very kind person who gets upset very fast because I'm fire, fire. So it's like, don't trip me. Um, but am very quick mentally, and someone who will give you anything if you're kind to me, and someone who really, really wants to help humanity get better.
What does retirement mean for you? Does retirement even come into your
Oh, I'm
view?
officially retired. I mean,
Okay.
I already get some money from Apple, really, from 401k. It means retirement. It really means nothing. It means waking up as the time I want to, but I will never stop doing what I want to do or like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no.
Yeah. So I got to know, as an adventurous spirit, if you could get into a time machine and go back into the annals of human history and see one thing happen before your eyes, one event, what would you love to have seen happen with your very eyes?
An alien walking into my room and say, "Hey," I say, "Hi, let's talk." I
Why,
mean it.
why do you think? Because there's been
And Trump out of office.
yes, exactly. Amen. So I'm curious. I know that there's video. I know that we have conclusive evidence of aliens being here, but why isn't it that Or maybe it's happening. Maybe people are running
It's
into aliens.
happening.
Okay,
It's happening.
it's happening.
The reason why they're not disclosing it yet, because it's a money issue. The moment they do, whomever does, it's going to be a big fight about, oh, I'm the one who's going to get the T-shirt and the bottles
Yeah,
with the name of it. But one thing that Trump is good at is getting impatient with this, is trying to say, just go tell the public. Thank God.
yeah, yeah. That is the
Yeah.
one thing. It's like that movie E.T. It's like once they discovered E.T., they completely killed him off. They completely strangled the life force out of him because all he wanted to do was come down and be around children. I mean, not in any weird
Yeah.
way, but just
Yeah.
children embody that whole idea. They're the geniuses. We're born geniuses and buried idiots. They're the ones that hold the
Yeah.
keys to this wonder.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what they want to
Exactly.
hear, right? It's like being
Yeah.
around an animal, being around a dog or a cat.
Yeah.
They have this incubated innocence that won't get tarnished by our human
Right.
dummery. So,
And they also want to save us from destroying Earth.
have you ever seen Chariots of or read Chariots of the Gods?
Red cherries to the gods? No.
It's called Chariots of the Gods, and it was
Oh, yes,
written.
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And there was the dun, dun.
So
Yes.
it's like they're saying that a
Yes.
future civilization is coming back to save us
Yeah.
from ourselves. So it's that
Yes.
idea, right?
Yes, and they are. They
Yeah,
really do.
I totally believe it.
I watch a clip, I'll tell you quickly on YouTube, where this guy was watching a nuclear armament. He was the guard, an old man, and he said there was an alien who came over and asked me to close my eyes because he would be scared. This guy was like very, very tall and looking different. And what he did, he disengaged the thing because they were about to launch a nuclear thing. And I mean, if you want, I'll find it and send
Yeah,
it to
please
you.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of thing happens every day without us even knowing it. I remember after 9/11, they're like, you have no idea how many calls and how many things are intercepted. I think it's the same thing with that. I think
Yeah.
it's just like with Kennedy and Khrushchev, how close we were to the buttons getting pressed on both sides and everything would have been
Ah,
over with, right?
yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
were waiting on telegraphs. It was, they didn't have instantaneous things. They didn't know what was going on with the Bay of Pigs. It's like those things I think happen more often than we know. So
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
tethered together by a flimsy piece of tape half the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the important business, if anybody wants to get the memoir, they want to see you speak, your blog, any of the good business, where do they go?
Well, I have a website. And I'm on TikTok, and on TikTok there is my memoir waiting list
Okay.
on top, and I just hired a media group which will distribute my information
I
everywhere.
appreciate it. And
Grazie.
and have a
Arrivederci.
arrivederci. Cheers. Bye bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye
Ciao.
bye.